everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And today we're going to talk about our top 10 games that we learned in August 2021.
Yeah. Seems
we
good.
learned so many. I learned the most ever.
In a month.
Yeah. I don't recall learning 92 games in a month ever before. This is just like...
Well, you learned 72 at the most recent little 10-day con that we went to.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to a con, so we played games for like
Played
10
a lot
days.
of games. You learned like, 72.
I learned 72. And before that...
You played 100 and something. 110 something, 120 something.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like crazy.
Oh, if we give Scott permission, he can do links.
Sounds good.
Can I do it? No, I can. User actions. I cannot do it.
I can probably do links, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how to do it. So, before we begin, I will say I played a prototype at the convention that I cannot talk about because it is not able to be talked about yet.
That's fair.
Because it's not, and you played it too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it has to do with all those permissions and stuff. You can't do it from here. You have to do it from your
Okay. Well,
channel.
I was just looking.
So yeah, you can't do it from there. Yeah, you can't do it from there. There you go. Yeah, just if you have to make them a mod from the channel on your Twitch.tv.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
fine.
you can't do it
just
from here.
Keep talking.
So, played a prototype that would have made probably my top 3. Somewhere in the top 3. And it's not yet done. I can't even tell you whose it is because then you might go, oh, maybe it's this game, or oh, maybe it's that game, or oh, maybe a reprint, or oh, whatever expansion. It would have been in my top 3. And then there was an expansion that would probably be super, super high, though we don't do expansions on these new to me lists. Mm-hmm. This is not where you do it, but it's closer to here.
Okay. I'm still looking.
Yeah, I know you are. A couple of other games that I should... There were not... Despite all the large number of games that we played, there were only a few really big hits. And there were a whole lot of games that were like, yeah, I enjoyed playing that game, and I would play it again if it hit the table. Then there were a whole bunch of games where it's like, I'm glad I played it, but I don't have to play it again. And then there were those few at the end that were like, I'll never get those 30 minutes back.
Yeah, there's a ton of those. There were a bunch of those.
There were many more of those than there were of the super big hits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're like really close where you were.
I know.
Where you were was like really close. 2 games that barely missed my list that are also not on Steph's list that I think deserve mentioning because they did not make either list.
Let's hear it.
And they're not even review copies, but I think that people would be interested in hearing about them. Are Mandala and Moon Adventure. Sorry we don't have any links today because we're both sitting here.
That's fine.
Actually, you were talking about maybe moving your top 10 from Friday over to the Wednesday and Sunday streams. So we may do it like this more often rather than doing it on the Friday. A lot of our regular viewers don't watch on the Fridays. So a lot of times they miss it or have to watch it on demand. But Moon Adventure, we'll start with that, is sort of like Deep Sea Adventure. For those of you who are familiar with those little small box Oink games, well, this is very similar, where you're trying to go out on a path with limited air supply, and you're going out and. Scott tried to do the link. We're still working on it. Yeah, you were like super close here. I think you can do it from here.
I can.
Where you are now, that is where we go.
Okay, keep talking.
Yeah, right. Does he have no? Yeah, he has no icon. All right, now give it a try, Scott. So with Moon Adventure, you take on a role, which will give you a certain power. Like one of them is a robotics expert, and they'll send out the little robot out there. Well, much like Moon Adventure, you skip over places where...
You mean Deep Sea Adventure?
Is that what I say?
You keep saying Moon Adventure.
Moon Adventure is the game
that's the new
we're playing.
one.
Yeah, much like Deep Sea Adventure, you skip over the spots where there are people, which will help you get out to the further out spots. Now, it's really hard when you're in Deep Sea Adventure to go down deep because you consume your air faster. Well, that's true in real life, too, for those of you who don't know. You can consume air very quickly when you are at deep depths. As a scuba diver, you learn these things.
It's true, Sean.
Last time I checked, there is no water on the moon. So, it's true. Well, with Moon Adventure, it doesn't become harder to breathe as you go out. But going out has its own little hazards because you only have a limited amount of air that you bring with you, and you spend an air canister and roll that number of dice, and that's the number of actions you can take. What happens if you spend out air canister and you roll really poorly, you try to get back and you can't do it. Now, I think one of the main differences between Deep Sea Adventure and Moon Adventure is because, hey, this is all co-op.
Yeah.
You are really trying to help each other. I like it too because you're like, okay, you couldn't get back here. You're not dead yet, but if I can hand you off an air canister before you die, then you'll be okay. There's a problem. You've only got so many air canisters yourself, and then all of a sudden you might become the victim. Somebody has to hand you off an air canister. Well, there are these oxygen replenishment things. Well, it's a problem when you draw oxygen off the top of the deck. There are these things like in Pandemic where you have the epidemic pop up. They're sort of like, oh, you pulled a card and, oh, your oxygen thing breaks. And that gets worse and worse, harder and harder as the game goes on. So you don't want to wait too long. You want to get what you can and get back.
Yeah.
So the premise of the game is you're not trying to get treasure. You're trying to collect enough parts of the spaceship so you can repair everything and get back. You can put it back together and get off the moon.
Or you all die.
Here's the thing, though. When you go out to fetch things, you only have so many things, so many spots. Like I said, you have like 4 or 5 spots that you can hold goods. Those are also the same spots where you hold your air canisters. And, oh, by the way, when you get back to the spaceship, you're not going out again. And the further out you go, the better chance it's going to be a good, usable thing. And then you go out as far as you can and then come back. Now, remember, in Deep Sea Adventure, when you found a treasure, you took it off and it wasn't there anymore. You could hop over it. No, not here. No. One of the players has an ability to create a path. And if you create a path, then that's a spot that can be jumped over. So that is really interesting. That sort of mechanic. We ultimately died because we couldn't
we were really close.
We were really close.
And then we weren't.
But okay, even if we had gotten back, you start looking at all the different, did we have enough? And I think we barely had enough.
We had it. If we just all went back.
If we had all gone back. But we didn't.
We didn't know. You don't know what you have.
That one is actually one of those that didn't make the list. I think it's probably worth keeping.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Though I think I just like it felt a little long. I like the simple Deep Sea Adventure better. Just because it's simple, it's easy, you're playing, it's fast, and you die, and it's funny, and then you're done.
Yeah.
This was more of a serious game.
Yeah. You get like 3 tries or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Deep Sea. With this, 1 try, you go out. That was it.
So while it had a similar feeling of going out and coming back or whatever.
You always press your luck. I
always, yes.
That's what she's known for.
Yes, absolutely.
The chat's talking about someone pressed their luck probably, and then Emberita says always. It's almost like Emberita knows you.
She does now.
She does now. So yeah, definitely try it if you're a fan of Deep Sea Adventure. Definitely try out Moon Adventure. I think it's worth It didn't make my top 10, but it did deserve a mention. You do know gamers, especially with the Can't Stop tournament that Dan ran. The other one was Mandala. So there are 2 mandalas. It's strictly a 2-player game. There are 2 mandalas, and you are drawing cards of 6 different colors and trying to either play them in sets to your side of the mandala, or you're playing them on the strip in the middle called the mountain. And if a color is on one of the mandalas, it can't exist on either other side of the mountain. Wherever it is, it can't be on those other spots.
It is a 2-player game.
It is strictly a 2-player game. Did that warehouse game make your top 10? Warehouse game?
This is new to me. Warehouse is not new to me.
Warehouse is not new. Although I already did bring it out earlier before the top 10 stream. I already brought it out and showed everybody to compare it to another game. It was my demonstration copy. So in Mandala, like if I play a green card, or a set of, if I play a green card to the middle, or a set of green cards to my side of the mountain, which gives me an advantage based on the number of cards I've got, you can't have anything that's green, nor can the mountain if I've put it on my side. If it's on the mountain, it can't be on either of our sides. When all 6 colors are present, the mandala is destroyed, and whoever has the majority, the most cards on their side of the mountain gets first pick of all of one type of all of one color. Then you get your choice, I get my choice, back and forth until they're all gone. Well, when somebody has 6.6 colors in their scoring pile, game is over. It's really good game.
Yeah, it's elegant.
It has a good elegance to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not big on abstracts. I do like
true.
set collection. This is very abstract, but I like the game. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That Ticket to Ride thing is huge. It really is.
It's huge.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Steph won that from the prize table.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now we can go ahead and start our top 10 as it is. So,
Your number 10.
I always go first because you're the star of the show.
Yeah.
So you get like
I'm best.
Everyone builds up to what you think. So my number 10. All of these were played at the con. Strangely enough.
That is
including
weird.
Moon Adventure and Mandala.
Yeah.
Not saying that the ones we played earlier this month were not fun, but these did rise to the top.
I don't know. You just forget.
I do forget. And this is the thing. What month was it that I had left one off? It was really good. Oh, it was Yokohama Duel, I think.
It was Hallertau.
It was Hallertau. And I was like, how did I forget Hallertau? And I later made a revision and said this would have been number 4 last month. Yeah.
Would have been good.
I had to do that because I totally forgot I'd played Hallertau. I am getting older. Yeah, I just can't remember things. So, Search for Planet X. The Search for Planet X. This is an app-assisted game.
Yeah, so don't play with Dan.
No. So, if only one of you has a smartphone with the app on it,
you can still play.
Then it's fine. Because you don't need to refer back to it constantly during the game. You can actually pass this thing around the table.
You can. It works better if everybody does just have the app, though.
Right.
I mean, it's just easier.
So, in this game, you are all astronomers looking for Planet X. And everybody starts out with their own batch of secret information. Like, you might know that there's an asteroid in sector... So, the place is in 12 different sectors. I might know that there's an asteroid in sector 8. And there is a gas giant in sector 3, and there is nothing in sector 2. And these are little clues that are going to help me determine where Planet X is, because Planet X looks like it has nothing in it. It is what is it? There are certain things that asteroids must be next to another asteroid.
Yeah, there's a lot of logic it provides you.
It's basically a big logic puzzle.
It is.
And when you find out a clue, you're like, oh, I know that Planet X is not across from an asteroid. I can take out all of those asteroids that I found. And you find out, oh, this comet must be within 3 of the other comets. Oh, that's good info. That means if I've got comets over here, I know none of these over here are comets. And so you sort of figure this stuff out as you go. On your turn, you are going to either take an observation action where you're observing a sector of the sky. The tighter your scope, the longer it will take you. And this is going to be measured in how many sectors you move around the board. Well, whoever's farthest back, sort of Takedo style. There's another game with that mechanic, and I don't remember what it is, but Thebes. That's what it is. It's got a Thebes type or a Takedo type of mechanic where the furthest back gets to go. And so if you go a long way with an action, I just knocked over your dice. If you go a long way with an action, you are probably not going to get to go again for a while. And I think that I like those mechanics. I like those. Oh, you can. It's a risk reward sort of thing. You know, if you go out this far and you want what this really tasty thing is, then you have to be prepared to wait. Now, the board will always the night and day side will always catch up to the back character, so the sectors you can scan in the sky will change based on where that night day
it was
is.
cool, and the app is really nice because then nobody has to be the DM or whatever, the guy who knows everything. So it works really well with an app. That's why I think having apps these days is really cool because it opens new opportunities.
Now here's the only warning. I have many games that did not survive release updates.
Yeah.
And they no longer work.
Yeah. Sure.
One of mine and Sean's favorite apps, the Arkham Horror Toolkit, no longer works. I have an old iPad with the Arkham Horror Toolkit on it specifically because I can't get it to work on the newest version of the iOS. I just can't make it work. Mm-hmm. So if we ever play Arkham Horror, we either have to shuffle all of those cards or we have that iPad with that app on it because it literally makes playing Arkham Horror much, much easier. So that is the one reservation I have with Search for Planet X is that when the app stops working because and it's not always the fault of the publisher, but if the publisher's contracted app developer goes out of business, they can't do anything about it. I mean, if the company itself goes out of business, like TMG, what happens if they had made an app, an app-assisted game? It just doesn't work anymore. There is no physical DM-able option. If there were, I would hope that if that ever happened, they would release these things where they could run it, they could play the game with somebody taking the place of the app, just so somebody could be the game master and.
Or you don't have cell service.
Cell service is not a problem with apps that are installed.
Sure, if it's
the app would already have to be installed. Now, I've traveled all over the world. I have not had a place that I have not had cell service, up to and including China. So that's largely a non-issue these days. You're not going to have cell service out in the middle of the boonies where there are no cell towers, I guess, maybe. But it's been a long time that I've just had a no data situation where I actually had to have access to a data-driven app. Yeah. Now, that said, that can be an issue if, like, something phones home, it's not going to be able to do it in those locations. I have no problem with app-assisted games. Love Journeys in Middle-earth. Love it.
So good.
I understand Mansions of Madness is fantastic and is now, second edition, an app-assisted game. Sean and I believe it was Sean and I who played it. We did not care for Mansions of Madness first edition. Yeah. Because there was a game master and it all seemed sort of gamed. It didn't work. The app supposedly makes it great. I haven't played it Steph's played it. She says it's great.
I know you
and
like it.
I know I will like. I'm 100% certain that it will address all of the issues that Sean and I had with Mansions of Madness.
You'll love it.
I
already know.
So I'm not totally against it. I don't think it takes away from the analog experience. I think in a lot of cases it can add to it. However,
yeah, if
be aware.
Out of date, then you're kind of...
Be aware. I mean, Kalis doesn't work anymore. Stone Age doesn't work anymore. There are a lot of these that just, at least I think Stone Age doesn't work anymore. There's a lot of apps I've got that they stopped working.
Yeah.
Now, of course, those games are not app assisted. Those are actually app versions of the games.
Sure.
But it could have just...
Same idea, though.
It's just like Arkham Horror Toolkit. Does not work. And so, yeah.
Same idea. Yeah. Well, it's great. I really liked it. Next.
Michael's Mass Effect days are biasing his opinion. Probably true. So I like Searching for Planet X.
Well, we actually played a few deduction games during the con.
And I almost won that game.
This was probably the best one.
Yeah, this was one of the better deduction games that we played. I'm looking. I don't see a better one on my list here.
No.
So that's probably
the best one too.
I wonder that nobody has any special abilities, so I wonder if it might become samey after a while. That is one of my other concerns. And that's why it didn't rank higher.
We didn't play it on the hard level, which gives a lot more.
That's right.
Sectors.
So there are 12 sectors in the easy game. There are 18 in the harder game.
So
that might.
We haven't seen it, so I don't know.
We haven't seen it. That might make it better. I do like logic deduction.
But because it's being run by an app, it will always be different. Like, your puzzle will always be different.
Yeah.
So that's
like it shuffles it up, and it's really good.
Yeah.
So, highly recommend checking it out. Search for Planet X.
Yes. It's great. My number 10 is a trick-taking game called Pompiers.
Pompiers exclamation point.
It's a firefighting game.
Wow.
But it's really trick-taking.
This is one that I didn't play with Steph.
Yeah, you didn't see it in action. So what happens is it's going to be 10 cards in your hand. You're going to play out 10 tricks. There's a bunch of different goals in the middle of the table, like to be the last one to go out, or to have exactly 2 tricks, or to have a top and bottom trick in a column. So when you take a trick, you put it in the slot 1, then 2, then 3. If it's a 5th trick, it'll go in the 5th slot. And then you go back around 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're going to have 2 columns of tricks, possibly. And so you're trying to meet these conditions, and if you can flip over for more points. And then there's...
that seems really cool.
So you're trying to do these goals and specifically and take these tricks.
And yet is timing important on that?
Well, yeah, because everybody's trying to do these goals, and if one says, don't get any tricks...
People might be dumping in order
trying to not take tricks, or if there's a trump in play, then you don't want to collect black cards, so you're trying to throw the black cards at other people.
But you're trying to get green ones, but not only that, try to get them in this 4th column or something.
In the 4th trick,
and that might make things really.
So things were changing round per hand, and it was over 5 rounds or something. And so you're just trying to get the most points from the goals that you're doing. And it was interesting. I liked it. So
enough to be top 10 anyway.
Well, I mean,
on a month that's filled with games, so that's good.
I really like trick-taking games. I really like card games, so I'm always interested in trying them, especially when they're Japanese. And this is a Japanese trick-taking game in French. I don't know. I also played Schadenfreude, which was also a Japanese-German trick-taking game. It was wait a minute, what? But anyway, the Pompiers was probably one of the better of the card games that I played, and I liked it.
Cool.
And I know Shrey picked it up recently, so that's exciting for him to try. And I know he'll like it because he likes trick-taking games. And I really, really like card games in general. So.
Yeah, we love trick-taking games.
Yeah.
Those are good. My number 9 is Robin of Locksley.
Ooh.
Robin
Uwe
of Locksley.
Rosenberg.
It's an Uwe game. it is not like his other Uber games.
It's not. It's not like
It's very
Patchwork.
abstract, actually.
Well, yeah, but like he's got like the polyomino games like Cottage Garden and Patchwork and Spring Meadow and all these games that kind of have a similar feeling. This one doesn't have that similar feeling at all, in my opinion. It's actually very different.
Right. So the outside of the board has a little path that you go around, and each space on the path requires that you fulfill the next objective in the line. If you fulfill the objective, you get to move ahead. It's pretty simple. At any time during your turn, if you fulfill it, you move ahead. If you can fulfill multiple objectives, boop, 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 you move ahead for every one of them. If you can't fulfill an objective, you will pay 1 coin. And you can skip that objective. But hey, if that lets you complete the next one, boom, you keep on going. And
it's a race.
And it's a race around the board twice. So you're going to handle each of those things twice, except for the last space. Hey, Color Fly Girl.
Yay!
Yay, you're back, she says.
Yay! So
and
happy.
the guy that's mowing the grass is back, too. You might be able to hear him in the background. And the sun is going down.
Time for you to mow the grass.
I guess so. I just mowed it like before I left.
Oh my goodness.
So Robin of Vermont. Robin of Colorfly Girl. So the last space is like pay 4 coins. Well, there's certainly no getting around that one because you can't.
You're gonna need to get.
You
coins.
can't just pay a coin for that one. That
No.
one doesn't work. But you're going to go around twice, and the last space is that one space. The game board is made up of 6 different colored tiles, all face up. And I start on one corner, Steph starts in the other, and we are basically going in night moves, in little L-shaped moves, collecting a tile, and then if we want to sell them, we have to have a set of 3 or more. And if we sell a set of 3 or more, then we take 2 of them, throw them away. Everything else turns to coins. So if you sell a set of 3, one of them is going to be a coin. If you sell a set of 4, you're going to get 2 coins. And that's how you can make coins to go around the board. And simple, light, easy, fast, done. And I really enjoyed it. More than I thought I would for another abstract game. How about that?
How about that?
So, yeah.
I wasn't thinking you were going to like that one at all. So I was just glad we could play it, 1. And 2, because it's Uwe Rosenberg.
Colorfly Girl says, what you playing? Does the stream not say what we are? Oh,
well,
and some games to play, but yeah, we have not gotten to the game playing yet.
We're doing our top 10.
Top 10!
Top 10s.
Yeah.
That was Michael's number 9 that he learned. My number 9 is actually, the Spiel des Jahres?
Spiel des Jahres winner? Nominee? Winner. One of the winners.
Micro, Macro,
Crime City.
Crime City.
Yeah.
So
That's like, where's Waldo on drugs?
Yeah.
Where's Waldo on steroids? It's like big, huge map.
I mean, it's really, really, really big. Like, really big.
A non-flux top 10. That is correct.
So this game, it's interesting. Cauliflower, it would not stream well, I don't think.
It would not stream well.
It's one big white sheet of paper with little tiny black drawings on it. I mean, it's unless you zoom in really far in. But the problem is you're kind of looking all over the map at any given time for the next clue. Because it works kind of like a crime-solving thing. You're given like a small clue to try and figure out
Well, you're given a story first. It's like, hey, somebody ran into a light pole. Let's take a look and see, see if you can find out where he is.
West part of the city. And
so you look around to find him.
To find this picture. Okay.
And then it's like,
find it.
Well, where did he come from? And you start backtracking down the street to see if you see other pictures with that same car unwrecked. And then you say, well, what was he doing before that? And you look and see, what was around? And then you see, there's this woman upstairs, and she looks evil.
She just has flowers in her hand. So she went to the flower shop, and she was on the subway, from the subway to the flower shop. So then you're like, okay, other side of the map.
And you're doing all this backtracking. It's
a lot of backtracking. You're trying to figure out the story.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting. It was definitely fun. We played 4 rounds of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those experience games where, you should play it. No, it's not really a game, I guess. It's more of a puzzle / unlock escape game kind of thing.
as compared to what? Most games, a lot of games are puzzles. If you think
There's
about
no
it,
like score system.
did you win? 1 point.
Okay.
There's
That's what I gave
in
it.
in its defense. There are a lot of games that don't have a score system.
Sure.
You know, it's not first to 10 points always. It's, you know, first to do whatever task. And how many points did they get? None. They won the game.
It's not okay, DeFoob. Okay.
And DeFoob says it's not always about winning.
I understand.
No, if you're not first, you're last. No, I'm kidding.
All I'm saying is, it didn't really feel like a game to me. It felt like an activity.
Well,
it felt like looking for Where's for Walt. I mean, it feels like...
I think I do see it as a game. That said, it is an activity, but it's no less of an activity as any co-op game.
That said, it still made my list and not your list, so...
That's also true. And it's top 10 games. Clearly, it's a game.
I mean, it won Spiel des Jahres, so therefore, it has to be a game.
And so that was the big discussions with the BGG admins behind the scenes is, okay, we don't normally allow puzzles, but it's a Spiel des Jahres winner. Where do we stand on this particular title?
Right.
And they're like, okay, we're going to take these on a case-by-case basis. Is this a game? Does it feel like a game? And ultimately, the answer for this particular title is, and I agree, yes, it is a game.
Yeah. So. And I would continue and
Closed captioning for the hearing impaired. Yeah, so yeah, you think it's a fun experience. I'm gonna make a comparison.
Okay.
And it might be a slightly unfair comparison, but I'm gonna make it anyway because there is some truth to it. Let's think about Seventh Continent. It is very much an experience game. It is very much to you a game.
Yes.
Where you are told a story and you're told to go out and explore, and then you go explore. It's a lot slower to explore that map than the micro macro map. Yes, there are cards in that game. And yeah, you're trying to survive and you're trying to collect items and everything else, but ultimately you're just trying to find where this stuff is on a map. Truthfully, isn't it a very low-level version of that? It's not exactly Seventh Continent, but it's still a game. That is...
I don't know.
Where's that line for you? I mean...
I don't know. I mean, it's a game.
Well, Dr. Sign says there are cards in Micro Macro. Yeah, but it's like step 1, step 2, step 3. I mean, I agree. My point is that it is a much faster, little portion of, what if Seventh Continent is a full-fledged deluxe, super big, multi-hour game, and Micro Macro is not, where is your line? Because somewhere between that and that, there's something. There is a similarity exploring on the map.
Yeah, sure. And one I wanted to say, I haven't played Sherlock Holmes Detective. That is on the unplayed shelf in the kitchen. I'm not sure I will. I'm not sure I would like it. I mean, it's a lot. You might not. It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words, but I will be reading.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we play.
Anyway, I haven't played that, so I can't compare it.
Dr. Sign says you can argue any co-op isn't a game. Agreed. But I think they're games. But it could be argued.
Yeah. I just...
Playtime does not necessarily determine if it's a game or not, in my opinion. And that's also agreed. That's also my point, New York Raider fan. I mean, at what point does it become a game?
I don't know.
What is missing that makes one not a game and one a game? I think they're both games. You clearly think one of them is like partially in the experience category.
No, I mean, I compare it to something like Unlock. I mean, I do compare it to like an exit type thing.
And that's a game.
You are solving these cases, I suppose. I mean, it's fine. It works. I thought it was interesting. It definitely felt different. I get why it won. And I think people should try it to see if they like it.
So Scott says, will you read it with a Cockney accent? Well, if I can, I will. I'm not sure I can do a good Cockney accent. So, yeah. So, yeah, co-ops are definitely some of my favorites as well. Amberita, do you not have Warehouse 13? It can be played fully co-op. You don't need a trader. So, are you not entertained? So, that was your number 9.
I mean, I'm entertained at the movies too, but that's not a game.
Yeah, because you make no choices. Do you make a choice in Micro Macro?
No.
Do you make a choice in Exit?
Yes.
So maybe that's the line for you. And technically, you do make a choice in Micro Macro, because if you choose something and that is not correct, then I don't know what your penalty. It didn't happen to us, but I think that you can't move on to the next thing, or you have failed it. or something.
But it's just like, okay.
What is the fail condition on Micro Macro? Someone let us know. So.
You just keep looking until you find it. So,
Amberita does not. So.
This is not part of the top 10.
Sorry. Top 13? No?
No.
But it's my baby.
Later.
Okay. So, my number 8 is Dice Miner.
Number 8.
You weren't sure if it was going to make either of our lists.
Dice Miner.
And so in Dice Miner, you have a bunch of dice. You guys know, if you've been watching the stream for any amount of time, how much I like dice. Ooh, that's probably a good name. Dice Bard. Or Bard of Dice. Laughing at me. So you basically roll all these dice and just put them into the side of this mountain. You can take off dice on the top of the mountain. You cannot take dice off the sides of the mountain unless you have activated an ability. Ultimately, you are collecting dice that score you points. You're scoring things like set collection or whatnot. If the dragons attack, you need to have swords. And if you have a meteor thing, then you need to have a shield. No, it's shield for the dragon.
The pickaxe.
And a pickaxe for the rocks that are coming at you. So if you have those, then you actually score points for them instead of losing them. Do you have to roll the dice?
You will.
You will have to roll the dice at some point.
You will. There's tons
but what
of
happens is that you are going to
re-roll.
claim these dice as they have already been rolled. So you know what you get. So you put them in your group. You're trying to make sets. You're trying to make runs if they have numbers on the dice. Like you're trying to get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll score that number of points. Then you can keep a certain number of dice from round to round. All the rest go back, and all the ones you kept stay. All the ones you did not get re-rolled. And so there are only so many dice that you can keep, and so many that get put back in the pile. Lather, rinse, and repeat for 3 rounds. Now, Steph said she doesn't know whether it has a lot of replayability.
I mean, there's a billion characters.
That's what keeps it.
So
there are like 14 different roles.
There's a lot of roles.
Like the Dragon Slayer. Hey, you can kill the dragons whenever they come up.
I like dragons.
And there's a thing so if you have a beer, you can give it to another person and then get to roll something. You get to roll 2 other dice back. So if you have something that's really bad and you want to re-roll them, you can give a beer to somebody.
Not quite right.
You re-roll it to them.
To them, and you take from the sides.
Oh, and you take from the sides of the mountain. That's right. But that's what the beer is for, is to hand them off. Well, there are some beer cards that are not so bad. Some beer dice that are not so bad. But if I'm given a beer die that has nothing but beer, a lot of dragons, and a lot of rocks, it could be very devastating. So, you give the beer to Steph, though, she doesn't mind dragons. She gets points from dragons. So, I was handing off all of my beers to, who was it, Farrier?
Dan?
Was it Dan?
I don't remember.
Somebody. Anyway, we can look in our app. That's what the app's for. But yeah, I think that all those different roles give it a little bit of longevity. So it's certainly worth checking out. And if you love a big, huge bunch of dice, something you probably enjoy playing.
Well, and you play over 3 rounds, and so the dice that you collect in the first round are great because they stay with you, and then at the beginning of the next round you take all those and roll them, so hopefully you roll really well for the next time. And then in the third round you take the dice you just drafted in that round and the other dice, you put them all together, so it's like a dice
except for
building.
the dice that you have locked into place.
Yeah, it's like a dice building game, so you're trying to
it's
build
very
up
much dice building.
And it's not like die building where you're like changing the face of the dice,
which is also fun.
That's also fun, but it's
coming,
like
guys.
You're
it's
trying
coming.
to get groups of dice so you can roll them all and get hopefully what you want.
I gotta say how much I can't wait for Dice Realms to come out.
Dice Realms will be amazing.
That's one of those games that we play at these conventions.
Dice building dice game. Engine
building dice game. Yes.
Pretty much what's going on here. And it was actually a pretty big hit. Like other people were wanting to play it.
Yeah, a lot of people play.
A lot of people were playing it multiple times. So that was actually, we saw a lot of games being played, but that was one of the popular ones. Sure.
The Foob says, "Okay, I'm in."
Sold.
And that's not even a review copy. So
no, that's like on our list to like look for at a decent price.
If we can pick it up
virtual
at a con,
yeah, likely.
Yep.
Put it on the list. Put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
Put it on the list.
I have your number 8.
Oh yeah, my number 8 is Quaddle or Codal. Coats.
Co-waddle.
Co-waddle. We played that. It's been on my list of wanting to play for a long time.
Synapses Games. Oh, hey, look, it's an unboxing.
It's an unboxing.
You got all these cool little dragon pieces.
Yes.
Look at that. And dragon heads.
Yes.
And dragon tails.
The box art is awesome. You can't even see the green pieces.
I wanted to see what it looked like. It's like it's an empty bag, really. Except it's weird.
Does it look like Michael on the front? So this is the pieces are awesome just because of the toy factor right alone. I mean, you're having fun collecting these pieces. You're going to be trying to make patterns in your quaddles and whatever. So this particular dragon will want, I can't even see it. It's kind of shiny, but.
Sorry.
Basically, there's different cards that will want different patterns on it.
There's a bonus card.
And depending on how long the dragon is.
So you want a dragon that's 7 long.
With no yellow or whatever that is.
Yes. You want no yellow. So if you do one of those 2 things, it's 3 bonus points. If you do both of those things, it's 7 bonus points.
So like all the cards have different ways of scoring points depending on how many patterns it is in the Coatl or dragon or whatever. So it's a pretty light game. It's pretty easy to learn. I knew it would be. It got pretty decent reviews when it came out last year. A lot of people are like, it's a one and done. But for me, I was like, you know what? I really like this one. I would like to play it more and see how it holds up. I think it's great. I mean, I really like pattern games anyway, so...
Oh, these cards got damaged.
Oh, don't...
Look at that.
Don't do
you
that.
You see the edge of that one there?
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
It is
came
cute
like
artwork.
that.
It is.
So I had, as you know, I had a list of 12 games, I think, and a couple of them did not make my list, and those 2 that I said before didn't make either of our lists. The 2 that I gave at the very start of the stream. This one barely missed my list.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the fence putting this on, so...
I know you liked it.
I did like it.
And I posted on Instagram that I had played it and tagged the publisher, and I was like, I'd really love to review it, and then I get home and it's here. So
get home and it's here.
Now I will take pretty pictures and review it properly and stream it. And
so that was all. That's like super fast. They're on it.
They were on it.
They were on it. So
they were happy to have me show interest, and yeah, I think it's a really cool game. So I'm excited to play that sometime soon. If not tonight, then maybe Sunday.
Yep.
But yeah, it's really cool.
Sounds
I liked
good.
it.
Do we have number 7?
Nope.
We don't have it?
Nope.
Wow. So, my number 7 is Space
Boss.
Base.
I hadn't played it.
You hadn't played it?
No.
Oh, I thought you had played it already.
That's on my new to me list too.
Oh, but it didn't make your list.
It didn't make my list. No.
Spoiler.
I'm not into the Machi Koro type games.
Colorblind. It's exactly it. Space. Not Spas. Space. Space.
Spas.
So, this is... That's a Coke can. This is it's been compared positively to Machi Koro. A lot of people say it's a better version of Machi Koro. You will start off with all of your abilities, basically giving you the little bits and pieces of things where you give you a coin or something. You're going to roll dice, and you are going to either apply them individually, activating 2 columns, or you will activate them all together, added together, activating only 1 column. On my turn, I will activate all my primary abilities. But let's say I buy a card. Let's say I buy a card that slots into the number 6 position. My old card goes into the top of my play area. Cards that go into the top of your play area activate when everybody else rolls that number. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not rolling anything that's going to give somebody a big old jackpot. But I can't stop it.
Yeah.
I mean...
Nothing you can do.
So, like, if I roll a 4 and a 2, it doesn't matter whether I take the 2 or the 2 and 4 or the 6. They get to take whatever they want. They can take the 2 and 4 or the 6. But on the top column, not their main column.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you are trying to collect coins or collect power or collect victory points. And it's basically a space base is a race to, 50 or so victory points?
40.
Some amount of victory points.
Yeah.
Once that's triggered, the game ends.
I didn't play with Shrey. We did play this at the gathering just because we had played other Machi Koro type game and we're talking about it, and someone was like, yeah, I really like that one. I think it was Tom, actually. He's like, yeah, it was good. And so we went and just played it because it was there. And I hadn't played it, and it was about time that I played it. And it was basically what I thought it would be.
And it's not a new game. I mean, it's a new to us game.
It was new to me. I mean, yeah. I kind of avoided it the first time just because I don't really like Machi Koro.
Well, you were not a fan of Machi Koro. That's the thing.
It is better than Machi Koro, though. And it is colorful and pretty. So there is that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 7. Space. Or Spas.
All right, my number 7 is actually one we just talked about called Robin of Locksley. Uwe Rosenberg.
Uwe.
Yay.
All the Uwe.
And it's weird. I wasn't anticipating like this one as much because it is a race around the track a couple times.
And it's like you move in these chess formations, and I know Sean's a big fan of chess. I'm just not. I
was surprised you liked it
sort
as
of
much
grew
as
out
you
of
did.
chess, but I like the
It makes you think because you're like, okay, I need that color, and then you're kind of planning 3 turns in advance if you can to try and get the groups of colors, but then you're trying to also plan for how you can get around the track faster. You're like, okay, well, I need a green at this point, so I need to go over here and pick up this green one. Okay, and I gotta do all this, and I gotta be in the corner for the next goal, and then I gotta be a diagonal from you, and then it's like, oh, okay. So you're trying to plan.
Sometimes you gotta sell a set that the other person's collecting, and then you gotta be diagonal from them, and then you've got to have no more than 2 collections of tiles, and then you've got to have whatever. So
it's a race game, Scott, but it's not. I mean, it is, but it doesn't really feel. It's
Well,
it's
see,
a
this is the
different-
thing. This is the discussion that Steph and I have had.
multiple times.
Many games are race games at their core.
Yeah.
It's a race to get the most number of colonists. It's a race to get whatever. It's the race to get the most points. It's still a race. And so...
Yeah.
No flooding here, Colorfly. We already had... We drove in and then the rain basically rained sideways the night we got in.
Well, yeah, and then there was an accident.
Oh, there was an accident. I don't know.
Oh my
It wasn't
God.
Ida related. It was an accident on the interstate. We just sat for 2 hours.
It was bad.
It was bad.
We sat.
We sat 2 hours.
Oh, it was bad.
In addition to the normal 10 and a half hours of driving.
11 and a half.
No, it's 10 and a half, but it took us longer than 10 and a half because of stops and the 2 hours of sitting in traffic. An hour and a half of just sitting in traffic.
It
So
was long.
yeah.
Anyway. So Robin of Loxley was my number 7.
So yeah, I like being able to. I like all of the little things around the outsides of the board. You can mix them up. The corners will all move around except for the start and end, which is on the same corner. Everything else shifts. There's an A side and a B side on some of them. The B sides make it a little bit harder. A lot of replayability.
It's a nice
I love
game.
replayability. Also, what do both of your shirts say? That's what I do. I play board games and I know things.
It's a quote from
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Basically.
Except
it's been off of
it's
that.
I drink and I know things.
Drink and I-
Is what Tyrion says, and Tyrion is my favorite. And
Mine says, yes, I really do need all these board games. Yes, I do.
yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
So we need Steph's shirt. No, you need Steph's games.
So many.
Yeah, my number 6 is a game that I was just doing stream hopping on Twitch and accidentally ran across this channel of these people I didn't really know, I think.
Charity board games.
Yeah, and they were playing Santa Monica. And I was like, that looks sort of cool. And then I got to play it at the gathering, and it was pretty fun. It's not super deep. It is, hey, put these cards into it's a tableau builder. You're basically building your version of Santa Monica. You are building a row on the bottom with street and a row on the top with beach. And cards are drafted. I love drafting. I don't know how this did not make your list. Or did it? I don't know how this didn't make your list. Because you like drafting. That's what it is at its heart. You draft a card, you put it in your tableau, and you can score for your tourists and your locals and your VIP. And you walk them around the board, and you score. Each player has their own special ability, or their own scoring ability, end of game scoring ability. And you'll collect these sand dollars, and sand dollars can be used to activate whatever special tiles, whatever special powers are going on that game, which always changes. Like, purchase one from the second row instead of the available row. Or, move some people around or whatever. Surprised that this didn't make your list. Get sets of volleyball things in a row. Get sets of...
I am surprised it didn't make the list. For me, it was just boring.
Too Light already done it.
So Aldi said it best. Like, the game is titled Santa Monica. You're not expecting some big, heavy thing. You're expecting a relaxing kind of...
It was light and
that's
relaxing.
what it is.
What it is.
It fits its theme really well.
It is not meant to be heavy, deep Euro.
For me, it was just like, okay, I'm doing this thing, and it just didn't do much for me, and I wanted it to. Like, it's been on my want to play list for a long time. And maybe because of that, it just didn't shine as much as I wanted it to or whatever. But, it was fine. it's forgettable, I think. Like,
well, we don't have it,
yeah.
so we'll see. Hey, if y'all are out there listening, publishers Santa, who publishes that?
That's AEG.
AEG. Hey, AEG, if you're listening to the stream, send it to us.
I mean,
at least I'm going to give it a good review.
I didn't hate it. It's definitely in the mix of.
You would play it again.
Of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no to it. So it's just, it's
And there were a lot of those that she would say no to.
There were a lot of games that I played. And a lot of no's.
Wasn't there a steampunk game that is a similar type of play? I'm not sure. So my t-shirt says I like board games and maybe 4 people. Dr. Science says dress for the game collection you want, not the game collection you have.
That's my shirt.
I actually hear that in the Batman voice. Dress for the game collection you want, not the game collection you have.
What? I don't hear it in Batman voice. No.
It's not the hero that you deserve. Not the hero that you need. It's the hero you deserve.
No.
Anyway, no. You're number 6.
Okay, so to be fair, 6 we played.
This was not an August game, but it is an August, but it's not an August game.
This is not an August game. This was a June game that we even played. I reviewed. I put it on the stream. It's called Luna Capital.
It's not officially a game on August, but now it is. It was not played in August, but it is officially a game played in August because this is the earliest that we could talk about it.
September 1. It was under embargo until September 1, which is today. And
oops.
Well, they didn't tell me.
You saw it first on our stream.
You saw it first 2 months ago.
Before it shouldn't have been on the stream.
And then I was like,
that's why I got an alert for that.
What?
You reposted the video.
Oh yeah, I put it back.
I'm
up.
like, we didn't play this recently.
No.
So yeah.
But because I could talk about it again, then I could actually officially add it to my list. This is a really cool city building game on the moon, I guess. And you're drafting tiles, making sets. It's puzzly. It has a lot of goals that you're working towards. I mean, it has a lot of things that I like. And I think it's a pretty cool game. And we played it already on the stream. And now I can officially talk about it. I think it's going to be an Essen release. I think that's why.
Since it wasn't on my list, it wasn't because I'd played it
Michael's
earlier.
like, what is this game?
I'm like, did we? I'm scrolling back there. I'm like,
he's looking at a picture. He's like,
where
I don't
is
remember this game at all.
Well, I couldn't remember it because I was looking back through my list and like it's like this wasn't even on my list. Did I play this with you? She said, yes. I said, it's not on my list. She said, we played it 2 months ago. I'm like, this is an August stream. What? Yeah. So
it would have made my top list in June. However,
oops.
I couldn't do it then.
Couldn't do it.
So I'm doing it now.
How about now?
I make my own rules.
You make your own rules. Where we're going, we don't need rules.
I don't need rules. I make them my own.
Hey, I'm going to unbox this next one.
Side note, there's a spider on my ceiling.
Time to find a new house.
That's so
Steph
mean.
identifies with that.
I definitely identify that. Oh
So,
my god, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine, Colorfly.
She will burn down the house if there's a spider in it.
I concur. Don't like.
So this is my number 5.
Oh, number 5. Number
we played
5.
a lot, and then we got home, and it was in the boxes that Brandon had salvaged for us.
No, Scott Pizzio. No.
Look, they're like crawling on the bottom of the screen even. So my number 5 is The Crew. Mission Deep Sea.
No, I want it. Not fair.
OMG, the new crew.
Making everybody cry.
I know. Wow, look, the chat is blowing up.
Be right back, driving over.
Be right back. You mean be right there?
Be right there.
So hey, let's do an unboxing here. Let's see what we got.
I bet it's cards.
So, we've got a log book. And we got a rule book. Okay, so spoiler alert. We've played the first... Yeah, you need to go that way. Spoiler alert. We already played like the first 12 or so of these.
50, no, yeah, I was 12. We lost some.
We were on 12 or 13.
Yeah, something like that.
So, yeah. So now you don't have the normal Starship Captain. You've got this captain. You got a cool little... Bioshock looking dude, and all of the normal green and red communication tokens that you always have. You can punch those.
Great. Punching party.
Punch party. So you've got cards. You've got from 1 to 9 blue, 1 to 9 green, 1 to 9 pink, 1 to 9 orange, and the 1 to 4 rocket cards. Oh, no, wait. They're submarine cards. And your normal communication cards, as you have. Basically, it is played really similarly to the normal crew search for Planet 9. What is it called? What is the normal crew called? It's the search for... Somebody help me out. Now...
I just call it... The crew.
Everyone
Planet
was like, oh, hey, let's skip all of the early adventures. And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
You got to at least say you've played them all.
A, you got to say you've played them all. B, sometimes they throw in a weird one that gives you a lot of trouble, and then you fly through the next 4. You got to do them all once. You got to.
Yeah, you got
Quest for Planet 9. That's what I thought it was. One and only Zion says, "What is this?" I saw this and was like, "What is this?" So yes,
it's great, is what it is. It's great.
Yes, it's great. So what you will do is, I'm gonna see if I can find it here. The rules are really similar.
It's very similar
to the normal
If you already know
rules.
the crew, it'll be easy to jump into this one.
So you will get something like this that will say that you need to collect a number of points equal to. Let me make sure which is which, because there are certain numbers. Yeah. So this is the log entry number here. This 1. And this 1 over here means that you have to collect 1 difficulty worth of cards that you put. And so you'll take a look at this, and in a 3-player game, this is of difficulty 3. In a 4-player game or 5-player game, difficulty 3. So you're going to scan through these, and you're going to look for a 1. Oh, hey, look, here's a 1. This is what's going to be in play. Boom. I will win more yellow than blue cards. Well, there's your mission right there. Here is the interesting catch with the crew mission Deep Sea. If it is something where it doesn't have to go to 1 player and there are not enough cards for everybody to have one, the captain may pass. And it will go around the table until somebody has taken it. If it gets to the last person and nobody has taken it, guess who gets that card? If you've got 3 cards and the captain passes, the next 3 cards must be taken by the next 3 players. Must be taken. There are no tokens for first, second, third mission. These are all just out there as they are. You don't have to do one first, then another. But they are different from what you have seen before. I will win exactly 3 subs.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a 3 difficulty.
I mean, I guess it's easy if you're the captain and you have the 4 and you just play it.
Right. What if you get this 4 difficulty? I will win exactly as many pink as yellow.
I mean, how are you supposed to...
Now, some of these are super easy. These you're used to. I'll win the 4 blue. I will win the 3 pink. Those are easy. The hard ones where you have to win multiple, or I will not win a trick with yellow or pink or blue. Good luck.
Well, all green.
Go
green.
That's a difficulty 3 to 4.
Dan says, I like the crew, but definitely would rather play this now. Well, one, it's because we played the crew so heck of a much.
So heck of a much.
It's my number one game played this year and my number one game played last year. Already.
What?
The crew. Just the regular crew.
Regular crew.
This one I've only played 15 hands or 15 times. But so the crew this year I've played 85 times. And last year I played it 198 times.
Wow. That's a few.
It's my number one play this year and last year.
DeFoob! You subscriber, you. Dan says true, but I also find this inherently more interesting.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
It sounds like you're sponsored now. One and only Zion.
Sponsored by DeFoob. Hashtag not sponsored. Thanks for following, Zion.
We love it.
You got me messed up. So yeah, if you're interested, obviously, in the crew, you will definitely be interested in... You will definitely be interested in the crew Mission Deep Sea, which is my number 5, which is why it goes right over Steph's face. And we'll see if she gets her revenge later in this episode.
I mean, I am sure your flags will get it soon. That will be a hot game. No matter the store. It's going to sell out.
This stream is sponsored by DeFoob and Color Flagger.
And Julie.
And Julie.
Julie.
I love how that's a thing.
Julie. So,
those seem too hard.
I love it.
How do you get so much time? Well, this is her job. Playing games.
Well, this is what we played last week.
Also, we went to a 10-day convention. But it's not my job. I just have vacation time stored up from COVID. So I get to go on 10-day vacations and play board games. So
I just play board games and write about them.
Yep. Yeah, this is how Steph makes her living. Is she runs Instagram accounts for people. She reviews games and you don't even get paid for your reviews.
Mm-mm. I get copies of games.
You get copies of games.
So that helps with playing all the games.
So the Who Needs Sleep, that's for this guy. Because if I play games, I mean, I've also got to work and sleep, so...
She should have Michael's shirt.
No, that's me. I play board games and know things.
I know things.
You do know
about
things.
Games.
You do.
You know more things about other things. I just know things about games.
Asterisk about other things.
Yeah, I know.
So you play a boring game, not to be mean, for a living. Yeah, we play good games and boring games for a living. Yes, that's what she does.
A lot of boring games.
So yeah, we have 1,800 games on the walls and sale pile.
I'm working on my new to me list. It's nearly done. I'll post it tomorrow. But basically, like 10 games are like 7 and above and everything else is like below.
So like we had said at the start of the stream, there were a couple of huge hitters. There were a few of them that were like...
Maybe 20.
You know, I liked it and I would play it again. There was a big group that was like, I'm glad to have played it, but I don't need to play it again. And there are a few at the very end that were like, I'll never get that 30 minutes, hour, or 3 hours, especially if like somebody forgets that they could have won 2 hours ago. Colorfly.
Colorfly. Oh, shade! Shade! The shade!
Oh, the shade is being thrown.
OMG!
So yeah, that's why
it wasn't against her. It was just really late.
It was way past her bedtime.
The shade is real.
The shade is real. The shade is heavy right now. OMG. Even Dan goes, wow.
Dan was sleeping long before that game ended.
Yeah. That's a late happy birthday fatty present right there.
Yeah, right there.
So, which one is your favorite and least favorite? Well, her favorite game is Ginkopolis.
Ginkopolis.
And I don't know if you have a least favorite. I mean, there are a lot of games.
I have several ones, but, nothing that's like, I hate this game the most. I hate lots of games equally.
I mean, there are a lot of games that I'm not going to play. I will not play this game.
Yeah, okay, so it's like Andor was good, it's a 7. Dice Miner was good, 7. Medici the Dice Game was good, 7. My Farm Shop, 7. Glasgow, 7. Mandala, 7. Public Market, 7. Llamaland, 7. Gardens, 7. Sheepy Time, 7.
Escape Roll and Right, 7.
And then everything below that.
Santa Monica, 6.5. And so for you, the line for keep sell is around 7.
7.5.
It's like... if you've got the 7, you might not let go of the 7, but you might just sell the 7.
Depending on what it is.
So it's like that 7 is right there on the line. 7.5, I think, is a keeper for you. Usually.
Generally. And so, even those sometimes
how not. About Uno? No Uno. I mean, I've played Uno, but I've moved so far past Uno. I mean...
We moved to Uno Flip.
I played... No.
We did play.
So when I was 10, I lived diagonally from the lollipop lady and old lady who gave out candy to kids. She saw that I liked to play card games, and we played card games all the time. She taught me two-player bridge. She taught me spades. She taught me a lot of different games. I brought Uno over, and we played a running game of Uno that had scores in the tens of thousands. And we kept, a running total. And so I played a lot of Uno. And she treated me like I treated my kids when we played games. She did not let me win. Any win that I got, I deserved. And she would draw for me right at the very end and totally make me draw 12 cards. That's how you learn. If you've got kids, for those of you who are parents and are raising up your kids, don't let them win. I don't say you need to go, boom, eat it, sucker. You need to teach them the difference between luck-based and strategy-based games. So, I had one of my kids, quivering jaw, and I said, now tell me, is this a luck game or a strategy game? He goes, a luck game. I was like, you're right. And that happens sometimes in luck games, right? Yeah. And so it's, you have to, and I'm like, you've beaten Dad before, right? Yeah. And that makes them feel better. That is like, they knew I did not let them win. And they loved it. So.
Jelfia says, I don't let my kid win.
That's good. Jelfia, you understand this, and your kids understand it even better.
Steph's number 5 was Hammered Dead.
Hammered Dead, no thanks.
Yeah, let's get on with it. Number 5. Steph's number 5.
Well, it's going to be really easy.
We already talked about it.
We already talked about it.
Search for Planet X.
Yeah, you liked it better than I did.
I did like it better than you. I like deduction games. I like trying to figure out the puzzle.
Dan doesn't even like Pizzeria Uno.
Well...
Where are your Uno gift cards?
Dan is wrong.
Where'd you hide those Uno cards?
I don't know. They're somewhere. But Search for Planet X. Great. We already talked about it. It was your number 10.
My number 10?
We talked about it.
Dan killed us.
In great length. Dan was ready to...
I was only like 4 points back, and then...
He knew it. I luckily guessed it in the last second.
Yeah, you did it.
So I actually got a few points in that game, but it was just luck. It was the 33% chance that I got it correct.
Did Derek find it? I don't remember. I know the three of us did. I don't remember if Derek got it or not.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, we agree, Dan, that we should play it on a harder level. We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I worry that there's not a lot of replayability after that, but the harder difficulty level might
save it
further.
Save it. I liked it a lot, so I'm happy to play that one again for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, what is
Gen
yours?
Z is different, like kids play video games way more than any of us. Untrue. I was the original computer gamer back in the day. Been playing since the 80s, so my kids play as much as I did. It's impossible to play more than I did because I went to school, I came home, I played games, I went to sleep for an hour, woke up, went to school. So there's not much more than you could do with that. So Gen Z is not different. Gen Z is human just like Gen X is human, and just like millennials are human, and just like the boomers are human.
I was always on the computer. Always.
Humans are human. If it wasn't computers, it would be something else. Like my dad was into cars. If I wasn't into computers, who knows? I might have actually been into cars. Don't know. That's just, you say Gen Z is different. Humans are human. So.
I play more than I let my kid play video games.
I mean, if we just throw up our hands and say, kids won't want to ever play board games, then what are we doing here? I disagree. I think that there's a lot of joy to be had from playing analog-based games.
Yeah, of course.
Or analog-digital crossover games like Search for Planet X. My kids enjoy board games, and they enjoy computer games more, but that doesn't mean that they're going to completely abandon board games. They come over and they play them with us. So, my number 4 is I really have wanted a really good amusement park game, and ultimately I'll get an amusement park game, and it will fall short.
I think you still like Unfair better.
I do like Unfair a lot. Matter of fact, Unfair is the bar which all others need to reach.
Yeah.
And this game, I don't know if I like it more than Unfair, but it is a little bit different while having a lot of those same mechanisms. But it gets rid of all of the, Meeple Land was fairly good, but just different. And I think a lot of the other ones just fall way, way, way short. Wishland is my number 4. And it hits a lot of those things that I need. With set collection, with worker placement. It's really heavy worker. Worker placement is the heart of this game. Worker placement, and then drafting things from the places where you place your workers. The mechanism is, you've seen it before in other games. Woo! Hi, Weirdnan.
Hi, Weirdnan. So Thank you.
You've seen this mechanism in other games where if I want to take this spot, I'll put one worker on there. Well, if Steph wants to take that spot, she'll place 2 workers on there. Then I want to take this spot, and I'm going to put 3 workers on there. Well, we all have a different number of workers, and at some point, Steph's going to have to take our workers back because we don't get them all back at the end of the turn. You have to say, I'm going to take my action to take all my workers back. Well, when all of these workers get taken back, well, now there's only 2 stacks here. Well, the next person's going to have to put down 1 for their own, 1 for each stack. That's 3. And so that's how the stacks will stay on the board. If you want to take that spot, you have to place 1 worker plus 1 worker for each other stack on the board. Not for each meeple that's on the board.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not a normal, typical, like, you play around, you get your workers back. You're actually going to take your action to take workers back. And so that's a big deal.
Unless you have a power.
He had a power.
And you can acquire those powers.
And I think that power is a little bit OP.
I don't think so. I don't think it won it for me. I think that there was other things that I was doing that won it.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, he literally like doubled, tripled our score. It was pretty much a demolishing.
It wasn't doubled.
It was doubled.
So, and the way to fix that is to make sure that whoever's playing doesn't get both of the good abilities. There was the other guy who did really well. It was Eric, I think. He got it was the guy next to me. Who was that? Michael? It was Michael. Mike Young. So he got the power when you placed into the advertising area. He got to then take all of his workers back. That was better than my ability to pay 3 to take my workers back. I say that was even better. Because let's think about this. At the end of the game, no one's taking that spot. I put 1 worker, I get 1 thing of anything of my choice. I get $1 and I take back all my workers. That is stronger than mine. He just got it later in the game. So anyway, you're collecting different colors worth of cards and you're trying to make sets. And some people are going to score for having full sets. Some people are going to score by having deep in one color set. But you've got to have the right number of ticket booths and everything in order to collect up different, multiple of one color. There's a happiness track and a visitors track, and it all works really well together. So that's why it made my number 4.
I get it. For me, it just wasn't.
Bye, Zion. Have a good night.
It was great. I liked it.
You liked it.
I'm glad we played it.
It didn't make your list.
It didn't make the list, but it was.
So it would be a keeper for me, and
probably not a keeper for me, but I would. It's fine if it's an on the shelf or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
I'm trying so hard to listen to Michael while also following this spider story.
I mean, there's a big spider going on over there, and basically just burn the house. So.
I mean, I will literally be in another room and I'll hear I'm like, okay, time to go kill a spider.
Sometimes it's not a spider. Sometimes it's one of those really big bugs with tons of million legs, and it's really scary.
So we get these little walkers that occasionally come out.
Hey, Alex.
Especially overnight. Hey, Alex.
Sounds like my wife, too. Yeah, no. Get it. Make it dead gone.
Dead gone.
I just got to take off my glasses, then I can't see it.
Exactly. And I'll be like, oh, no, it was just a clump of hair. You don't need to worry about it.
No, it's moving. It's good.
It's the wind. You got the fan on. It's moving the hair.
No.
Oh no, those you burn the house down.
Yeah. Really, really bad. Really scary.
So, your number 4.
Hey, my number 4
is coincidentally my number 3, which is going to be next.
So we'll combine it.
Yeah, we'll combine
Steph's number 4.
Michael's number 3.
Michael's number 3.
Oh, we have it. We actually have the copy.
But is it, accessible?
Yeah, sure it is. As I knock over.
I don't know. I mean, everything's still in boxes and crates and stuff.
I don't know.
I have not looked. It might be in a bag.
No, it's right here.
I don't know, man.
It's right here.
He's got it.
Out.
Chill it.
It's right here on top.
My number 4. Michael's number 3.
Is drum roll, please.
Dan, you didn't have much stuff.
What?
Dan's like, I had packed all my stuff. Well, Dan didn't take 15 hours to come home and
it's a green box.
Ooh,
what could it be?
What could it be?
What could it be?
What could it be now?
It's a game from Yellow. It's a green game, but it's a yellow game. I also worked all day yesterday and today.
Me too.
He enjoys seeing Kerala on the shelf. This is not Kerala. It is another K game, though.
It's Korra.
Oh.
Rise of an Empire.
Dun, dun, dun. So, yeah. The yellow guys showed this to us.
Oh,
and
man.
actually
They're just so much
played it
fun.
with us.
I was like, can I open this? And they're like, yeah, we'll show you. And then I'm like, oh, okay. If you want to play it, that's even better.
So there was...
He got every rule wrong.
Stefan. Yeah, he did. There was Stefan.
Are you sure?
So there's Stefan, Steven, Steph, and not a Steve.
Yeah.
So that's who we were. So yeah, Korra, Rise of an Empire.
Oh, sir, Alex already pre-ordered it. Excellent. I'll take credit. Just kidding.
I don't think it's how it works, but yeah, sure. Yeah. So go ahead. So this is your number 4.
My number 4.
I always spoiler your stuff, and so this is your one time to do it.
Yeah. So this is a light Civ game, I would say. I mean, it is
a light Civ game.
It says 75 minutes on the box. That's probably not incorrect, but learning it because we're playing with people like that didn't know the rules that I expected to know the rules.
Stefan, oh yeah, he's like,
we had a good time,
he's like, I have not played this in like 6 months.
It's probably true. But yeah, so it was just fun just hanging out with them too while playing. So it took a little bit longer than that. But you are trying to advance your Civ to get military powers and get coinage and glory and population and all these different things. And ultimately you're trying to have the most glory at the end of the game. And you do that by gathering coins and resources and stuff to military to gain these tokens, to unlock different technologies, to overcome events that are happening every round. And you're doing that with dice. And so each turn you're going to roll some dice, and then you're going to allocate your possible actions to these dice. And so if I roll a 5, I can choose anything 5 or lower. Or I have to spend my population in order to advance my die to be a higher value.
Everyone's got the same tile. So philosophy, if you roll a 0 or more, which is likely on a 6-sided die, I'm just saying, you will gain 1 on this track. Or, no, one scroll token, rather. And the scrolls can be used for other things. If you roll a 1, you're going to gain a couple of, I can't even see.
I think it's people. I
think
it's your citizens.
2 people, then the citizens are easy to gain, but they're also easy to lose.
Because that's how you change dice.
Yeah, if you ever need to assign a number 1 to a 6,
you're gonna have to spend
power
a lot
like
of people.
this one, this development. If you wanted to use a number 2 die on this 6, then you're gonna have to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 citizens to be able to do that action. So ultimately, the dice aren't swingy enough so that you can't do the actions, but you can't do the actions if you've been reckless spending your citizens. So there are basically all these different roles that you can do.
And so you're basically rolling 2 dice, possibly a third if you get the
More
technologies.
workers.
And then you're going to assign these different roles for them for each round, and then you would go around saying who has a 0, you flip it over and go in order. Then you do 1 and 2 and 3, and you keep doing this for 7 rounds, I think it was. And so you're just trying to...
Something like that.
Yeah, you're just trying to do it all, and get cards.
You can use and kill your military. If you have 3 military and you spend none of it, you can collect this token. If you have 6 military and you spend 5 of it, you're going to get this token along with these other extra little things on here. Those are going to cool. give you... those tokens give you sets. Those sets give you points or abilities, and so that's each of these civilizations has their own power and their own way that they can build their civilization with these little notched areas here. We can put a little what do we call this thing? Our little wedgie thing. I can't remember what we called it. Anyway, and if you spend certain tokens, then you will be able to. No, not spend them. Just have them, right?
Yeah, you just have.
You
to
just
have,
have the token, and then take that action. Then this is hard to do, but it's good that there are multiple different civilizations that. So the game is not the same every single time.
And the events will also change.
Oh, the events are yes.
I really like Civ games in general, like Civ building, trying to... And this is a lighter...
This is a much lighter Civ builder, yes.
But it still does a lot of things that I like. And so I'm excited that they were willing to, let me take it with me.
Multiple paths to victory. I mean, there's an economy, a culture, and a military track. And... I think that this is about as heavy of a Civ game as you can get in an hour and 15 minute worth of playtime, without getting too far deep into the weeds and economies and stuff like that.
Sure.
Obviously, you go another step up and you've got something like a Fiddly Through the Ages, which I love on digital platforms. But it's a lot to move around and keep track of when you're playing on the board game. the actual physical board game. Anyway, I just think it's a fantastic offering by Yellow, and certainly if you like easy to learn, accessible Civ building
expert
games,
level.
it is still expert level.
It was funny that they were saying that it's expert level for Yellow because it was sitting like next to Antiquity or something. When he just kind of
I was like, this game seems too light to be expert, and he says it's expert for like the normal person. So it's
like a Yellow family game. I
mean,
this is a deeper game.
This is deeper for Yellow.
Especially for Yellow.
Yeah.
Which has a lot of like.
But I'm glad that they're putting out games like this.
I am too. I'm very excited.
Glad. Oh, it's not as bad as the rain stick.
This is true.
This is the rain stick that I have over here somewhere.
Alex asked, has Origins First Builders already been mentioned? It has not. Michael has not played it yet.
Origins First Builders.
Yeah, he has not played it.
I've not played it.
So, it has not. Probably once we play it, you might like it. It has dice manipulation.
You've played it already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, for me, I think I need to play it with 2 players and see. But once we do, I will have a giveaway for that anyway. We got a box of sand.
Oh yeah, remember that.
To say we have a giveaway for that.
Yeah,
so
we got the giveaway.
One day when that shows up.
All right. Well, that was my number 3, and I already pretty much just jumped on board to yours. Your number 3 is...
My number 3 is a game called Mystic Paths.
Barely missed my list.
I'm surprised it didn't make your list, actually.
I had 15 on the short list, which became 12, which became 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This game, Mystic Paths, is a word game in the vein of like code names and just one, except this is a cooperative party type game, but you play up to 5. And you are trying to give clues to walk around the path. And so if my word on the path next is diapers.
So there's a lot of interconnected paths.
There's a lot of interconnected paths.
So her wizard is going to be on this path, right?
Trying to walk around.
You can't go backward on the path. So you're going to go forward on the path, which usually means if you're on the outside ring, you've got 2 or 3 places you can go to. If you're further inside the circle, you might have 5 different paths you can go to. Here's the catch. You got 4 cards.
You have 4 cards. They're double-sided, generally with like opposites almost.
And you were trying to give clues for your next 3 paths.
Your next 3, so you're using 3 of these cards to say either...
Double-sided, as you said.
I think one of my words is pompous. So you could have the word pompous, and you could have these little not tokens, so it could be not pompous, or... shiny.
Imaginary, not imaginary. Yeah. Shiny, not shiny.
Right. Or lightweight, not lightweight.
Protected.
Things like this.
Protective. Mushy.
That'd be great for diapers.
Oh, I did that. I did. It would be, but I used it for bubble wrap.
I had no good word for diapers, and everybody was so thrown off. And
some of the words were Albert Einstein.
Yeah, I mean,
black
it's really
hole.
anything. Yeah.
Vampires. Empire State Building, just a lot of different nouns out on the board and a lot of descriptive words in your hand. And you'll play them down and everyone else guesses. And they're like...
And collaborate to try and say what they think it's this path will be.
Do we think it? Dan says, Mystic Paths was good. Hard to stand out amongst other co-op games like Just One and Cross Clues. And so Clover?
I haven't played
Vampire State Building. No thanks, I'll move.
I hear what you're saying, Dan, but I think I like this more because it gives everybody the opportunity to present clues, which, you know, if you're playing Codenames, you're on the guessing side. That's cool and whatnot. But I always find it more fun to be giving the clues. It's more of a...
Oh, some people hate giving clues.
That's fine.
I like it, but a lot of people
I think that's the challenge, and so in this game, it gives you that
everyone
opportunity.
Has to. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're not saying... I know you liked it.
I know you liked it.
And I definitely liked it enough to be number 3 on my list. And so apparently in the box there are blank tiles that you can write with your dry erase marker things like...
So you can change it every
Steph.
game.
You know, like whatever you want. So I think that's interesting too. But I do think that it probably could be a little too easy. It might be a little too easy.
Well, see, that's why it missed my list, and it's because of this. we played it the first time and we maxed the score. We didn't completely, totally max it. Like you said, at 11 and up is this top category. And we got 11.7 out of 12 points.
And we were literally one step from losing. They could have gone the wrong way and we would have lost. So it's like one of those, like, I was really holding the team back.
No, we wouldn't have lost. We just would have gotten a lower score. Would we have slipped out of 11? I'm not sure. But 11's the top you can get. Well, 11's the top category. 12 is a perfect score.
No, we did not play again.
If everyone gets 12. We did not play again. But that's the thing. On our first game, we maxed out the score category, and we were literally 2 persons off from being like 3 of us got it the turn before, on turn 4. 2 of them got it on turn 5. And that made 2 people get 11, 3 people get 12.
Right.
If all 5 of us had gotten 12, like if we hadn't messed up a couple of y'all's one time, then you guys would have been there quicker, and ta-da, it's a 12-point perfect game.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. So, is it too easy? It might be too easy. Is there a way to make it more difficult? I don't know. If you give only 3 cards, then, man, you're giving really bad clues. I don't know. It's something to think. I want it to be a little harder than it is. Then again, maybe it's the mix of tiles that came up. And there's a lot of different tiles that came up. And you can make your own. So, it's not a bad game. I'd certainly play again.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But if we max it over and over, I think I want something a little bit more difficult.
I was saying hi to my mom. Yes, that was my number 3.
Yep.
Your number 2 did not surprise me at all.
Did not surprise you one bit.
No.
You knew it was going to be on there, and it was not. It was not one of your favorites.
Oh gosh, no. I really did.
You
not
were
like
like,
it.
Nope, don't need it. Don't need it. Sell it. And I'm like, hold off. I might like it. And you're like, yeah, you might like it.
I knew you would like it. I was hopeful.
It is.
You wouldn't.
It's Dune Imperium.
Everybody's.
We actually have it over there somewhere.
Yeah.
I
made sure to buy it from Rob.
It came in on Rob's stack, and I'm like, let's set this to the side. It's like Dominant Species Marine. I have it set to the side, and she's like, no, I don't want to play it.
And now we have another copy of it.
Yeah, we have 2 copies of it.
Oh, wow.
So, Alex says, I'll pass 2, Steph. Why? Why? Did you not like it? Did you play it? I've not even played it. See, okay, so I have no connection to the old Dune game. I have no connection to the Dune movie. Or old or new. I have no connection to the Dune books. I like the game. So, yeah.
Scott Pizia.
Scuff is so good. Scott, I played it with
Jeff and Lou.
Jeff and Lou. And Lou was fantastic at teaching the rules. And Jeff chiming in every now and then with whatever Lou left out, Jeff was right on top of. And together they taught that game so well. And played it, had no problems. I don't remember. I think we're all relatively close at the end. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Lou won. It's a race to get 10 victory points. And you can push someone back on the victory point track by getting favor with these 4 tribes. You can actually push someone back on the victory track. But then if you push them back, then it swaps again. If I had gotten around to my turn, I think I would have been able to push it to 10, but Lou closed it out. And Jeff was further on back. So I think that's what happened. I'd have to check my score to be sure, but...
Dan, do you know exactly what Lou house rules?
What? Note that Lou uses house rules. I did not know what he house ruled. So...
Maybe it makes the game better.
I don't know.
Alex says, I did, however, love Ares Expedition. Yeah, we loved it too. And I will basically always choose it over Terraform Mars as well.
Race for Terraforming Mars. Hey, if that's the comparison, I'll take it. I loved it. I do not recall anything that Lou did to take out or add anything. So I don't know.
You might have to read the rules.
I will. I'll be sure to do that. However, I don't recall him saying anything like, oh, well, in my version of the game, we do this.
Sure.
So, yes. So, Scott Pizzio points out that I have a solid number 2.
Uh-huh. Or me to poop on.
Oh, where is he? For me to poop on! So yeah. So yeah, I don't know what his thing was. I don't know what this connection has to the original Dune, if any. I don't think it's.
I mean, it has
the same as the old Dune board game. But anyway, you gain favor with certain factions, and you trade the primary currencies of water or spice in order to get troops. And an event will come up, and hey, you're now battling for this card, and whoever has the most troops committed to the battle will get the top prize, and the next most, and then the next most. And it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex missed the first part of this list. Before we do the number ones, we can do a quick rundown real quick, just calling off the names of them. So you won't miss those, Alex.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the old Dune game, which is very different.
Yeah. So that's good. Because I do want to play the old Dune game, which I haven't played it yet. So, yeah.
My number 2 is...
It's a remake.
A remake called Galaxy Trucker.
2021 edition.
Yeah, I mean, so...
It has cartoonish looking
Yeah, they changed the art a little bit. They changed the boards to be amazing. They're folding boards now. It's just all in one. It's really nicely done.
It's like one ship, the second ship, open it up, the third ship.
Yes. It's really nice. And so now...
Yes, Alex says.
There's like a new...
Yes!
Oh my god, stop, I'm talking. There's a new mechanic where instead of doing the shiny ship at the end, stop. Whoever has the best looking ship at the end, you don't do that anymore. You do an award type thing where you're trying to meet the requirements of your award in order to gain points. It's nice. There's nice changes. Otherwise it's very much the same. You have the huge anniversary edition. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Michael has...
I have
all the stuff.
I have Galaxy Trucker, big expansion, another big expansion.
All the stuff.
New ship models.
No insurance.
All the other stuff.
That's right, Scott. Thank you.
No, I'm not gonna be blah blah blah. I like Galaxy Trucker. It's one of them.
He does like
very highly rated. That's why I have all the expansions.
Yeah.
No, if I was like blah blah blah, I'd be like blah 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. What's your name? Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I loved that episode. God, so good. So, yeah, she turned me on to Arrested Development. It's so hilarious. I love it. So.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you like Galaxy Trucker, I don't think it will replace your copy of Galaxy Trucker, but I think hopefully... this new edition will get more.
I think it's more accessible.
I think so too. And it's definitely like...
It takes out the insurance rules, like you say. It takes out the, pretty ship rules, like you say. You still have the ability to have ships get busted up. I think all that is good. It takes the best things out of Galaxy Trucker, puts it into an accessible package, and, takes off the unnecessary rules. So, do you need it? I haven't played it, but I would assume no. If you already have the big anniversary or you have all of the expansions like I do. If you don't have it, certainly worth getting a new copy.
Yeah.
And especially if you've heard all the rumors. Like Steph heard rumors for years and years and years that
it's not even Galaxy
Trucker's
like...
too long. It's just horrible, and that scared you away from it for the longest
for sure.
time.
Just for the shipboards, it might be worth it. Yeah.
It is a little bit of Galaxy Trucker light, but it's not like 50% light. It's like 85%.
They actually made the track shorter, so like if
more chance to lap someone.
I actually lapped and killed someone. I killed him.
Take a break. And I think that's actually good. I think that might actually be an improvement because
it's important to get engines.
Well,
jets or whatever.
Vlada says it's important to get everything. But in each individual section, it's like now I don't know if he does this in the new rules, but in the old rules, it was like now lasers kill asteroids that are in front of you and also shoots pirates and stuff. And so obviously lasers are the most important thing on the ship, so you need as many as possible. And then he starts talking about engines. It's like engines is the way that you can get ahead of people when you have open space cards and can make it so you can like stay in the lead and everything. So obviously engines are the most important thing on the ship, so you need as many of those as possible. And well, crew members run your ship, and the more crew members you have, the more you can go like search these abandoned stations and everything. And so that means more credits. And so clearly, if you lose all your crew members, then you're not going to be able to fly your ship. So clearly crew members are the most important, so you want as many as possible.
That's the whole rule book.
That's the whole rule. It's hilarious. And then they're like, okay, with shield generators will help to protect you from, these, the asteroids or the laser fire or whatever. And he says, you might think that this might make it the most important thing. No, it says this is a very important thing on your ship. So you might think you want as many as possible. No, you only need 2. I love it. How he just shifts gears like that. And he's like, I like what he did there.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's hilarious. So, yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah, Scott says the shorter track definitely makes movement better where normally you could ignore it. Yeah, I think that is probably a big improvement.
Yeah.
So
it seemed good.
And I haven't even played this game. It's in their comment about Galaxy Trucker.
That's true.
It's really, but the primary thing is that you were scared away from it for so long. And I got you to try it. And made your list the last time you played.
It was one of the best games I learned that year.
Yeah, it's really good. So, a rundown of our top 10 before we do our number ones. My number 10, Searcher Planet X. My number 9, Robin of Locksley. My number 8, Dice Miner. Number 7, oldie but... oldie, Space Base. Number 6, Santa Monica. Number 5, The Crew, Mission Deep Sea. Number 4, Wishland. Number 3, Korra. Rise of an Empire? Is that what the full name is?
Yeah.
Number 2, Dune Imperium. Steph's number 10 was Pompierre's. Number 9, Macro Crime City. Number 8, Coatl. Number 7, Robin of Locksley. Number 6, Luna Capital, which she played a couple of months ago, even though it was embargoed until September 1st. Number 5, Search for Planet X. Number 4, Korra. Number 3, Mystic Paths. Number 2, Galaxy Trucker 2021.
Yeah, Space Base.
Space Base.
Boss.
Space Base? Yes,
Boss,
I enjoyed
boss.
Space Base.
Boss.
It was better than Machikoro. I enjoyed the interactions between the active and passive players. So yes.
Luna Capital, we learned a few months ago. I actually wrote a full review about it, and we played it on the stream. But then they're like, you can't do that. It's embargoed. I'm like, nobody told me it was embargoed. Thanks for that. Okay, I'll take it down or whatever. And so they said I could talk about it on September 1. So now it's on my list, even though it would have been on my list in like June or something. So that's what happened there.
Dan's giving me grief. Dentist visits that were shorter. I basically closed out that game of Space Base.
Dentist visits? You're crazy. I hate the
I mean, you played Space Base with me.
Yeah.
I ended that game fairly quickly.
It was fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't had dentist visits that were shorter than that. It moved. So you want a short game? Villainous. Villainous is a 3-hour game unless if you're playing at 3 in the morning and somebody could have won 2 hours ago. Colorfly.
Villainous is never a short game. Period. No.
When I played Space Base, it was 90 minutes.
90 minutes? It was not 90 minutes for us.
Y'all were playing wrong.
90 minutes?
It wasn't 90 minutes for us.
No.
It was more like 45
No.
It was 45 with a full table. So, I don't know.
There are maybe 20 minutes of the fun. I mean, our game was probably half that. I mean, 45 minutes was still long, but it wasn't 90 minutes long. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Villainous is always long. Maybe not 3 hours, 4 hours, but it's always long.
But I mean, in the Defoob's defense, not just Defoob, but the Defoob's. No, it was
We'll just blame Thotty.
What? In their defense, they were also talking to the people on the channel.
Yes.
Like we do.
Yes.
So number one.
Number one.
Is a game that is not new. It is not new at all.
No.
And you knew it would be on my list.
I knew it would
And Dan probably knows what it is. Dan, do you want to make a guess? I'll let Dan try to make a guess. Now that since he played
Dan knows
most all these games with us.
Yeah.
Most of them, not all of them, but maybe Dan knows what my number one is. Huh? It's a game I hadn't played before. You guys taught me. You guys had all played before. And I enjoyed it.
Priorities. No.
Priorities.
You loved Priorities way more than it deserves.
Priorities was okay. I'm glad I've played it.
I am not. I never want to play that game ever again.
Dan says, "Oh, that." Yeah, so you know what it is.
He didn't say.
He didn't say, but
I'll tell you, it wasn't Outpost.
Merchant of Venus OG Edition. I had played that before. That's not her number one, that's for sure.
That's not my number one.
It's not. I had played Merchant of Venus OG Edition already, so it can't be my number one.
It was a good guess. Good
It
try.
was a good try.
Chocolate Overworld.
My number one, Oracle of Delphi. Where is it? Is it? You got it up there? We're turning around to where it's supposed to be.
It's in the TMG
Oh, there it is.
shelf.
Ta-da! Oracle of Delphi. So, it is
fantastic.
Fantastic. You're moving your little piece around, and you have so many movements that you. I don't know if I can explain it well enough. Only after having played one game. You're trying to do a lot of different things in order to get all of your tiles off the top of your board. Race to clear your tiles. It is a race game.
This is by far my favorite race game. By far. Because it is more of a puzzle.
Oh, it is definitely a puzzle.
It's more of an optimization game of trying to do something in as few moves as possible.
Right, so you're going to roll your dice. And based on the colors that come up, you can move your guy on the board for one of your dice. Or you can collect a cube for one of the dice. Or you can collect a statue that you need to place on the pedestals for one of the dice. Or you can fight one of the monsters for one of those dice. There are a lot of different things you can do. You're going to have to deliver 3 goods. You're going to have to place 3 statues. And 2 of those are certain colors. The other one is like a wild color. Mm-hmm. Well, since all of us have to get blue statues, I think it was cubes. Blue cubes and yellow cubes. There's going to be a run on blue and yellow cubes.
It's specifically
monsters. Blue and yellow, black and red monsters, and then any other type of monster. Black and yellow, blue and yellow cubes, and any other cube. What is it? What does that leave? Green and something.
Yellow, pink. I think there's six colors. So.
For the idols, you need to get those idols and place them on the pedestals. And so there's a run on those particular colors.
Yeah.
When you fulfill one of these tasks, you're going to get some kind of bonus, whether it be a God's bonus or something else. There are also God's favors that you can do that will activate when everyone else rolls their dice. But if you haven't unlocked your gods, which you can use with a die, then anytime anyone else rolls that color, you push them up. And when you push them all the way up to their little throne, you can activate that special ability at any time thereafter, and then dropping them all the way back down to the bottom. Now, each of the civilizations or players will have their own special power based on which boat they chose, because you're sailing around. You're actually sailing around the islands of Delphi area. And each boat does something different. Like, what was mine? Mine was, I think one person I think Dan's could hold 4 items, and he started with all of his gods unlocked. I know he started with his gods unlocked.
That's one of them. All of your gods are unlocked all the time.
And that was not mine.
Derek
Mine
had
was
the 4 spots for the goods. I had one that was I could use one fewer favor when changing the color of my dice. I know.
Oh yeah, you can spend. You can rotate, but you'd have to spend resources to rotate or the colors.
Change your colors.
You change the colors of the dice. Yeah.
I think yours might have been going back and forth between either side. I don't remember, but
I can't remember, but it was. Suffice it to say, there are different.
You had the shields. You had 2 shields.
Oh yeah, I started off with shields. Shields help you fight monsters, and once we've gone one time around the table, the barbarians attack. Barbarians attack you, and if you end up getting too many damage cards, then you lose your turn. And now, I don't usually like lose a turn games, but there are ways to mitigate that.
Yes.
Don't get your butt kicked.
I'm surprised nobody actually lost a turn.
Nobody lost a turn.
That usually always happens.
Dan ended up, okay, so if you collect, I think it's 6 of any color or 3 of one color, there goes your turn. Dan was collecting black like it was his job, and he barely avoided it a couple of different times. Yeah. Matter of fact, there was one time he cleared his 2 black cards, because it was 2 black cards, and he drew a 3rd one right after. He would have lost his turn. But he was on it. He was ready to clear those. Yeah. He was ready to clear those cards.
There are definitely ways. There's a lot of different little things going on in the game.
But it's so good of a puzzle.
Yeah, it's really not difficult. The iconography is pretty good, so it helps.
And I'm sure my next play will be a lot faster.
Yeah, manipulation of the dice is fun. Figuring out the best paths on the ocean is fun. It is a race game. And I am still shocked that I like it as much as I do. But you can play it on Yukata.
Galaxy Trucker's a race game.
Really good. This is true.
But it's not. But it is. But,
He usually loses 1 to 2 turns. I know. I was shocked that nobody actually lost a turn in that game. So, that worked out.
So, yeah. That's, anyway, nice, crunchy puzzle Euro. Love it.
It might be my favorite Feld game. I do love Burgundy, don't get me wrong. I'll always play Burgundy. I love it. But there's something really special about Delphi.
But you knew I loved Delphi.
Oh, yeah, dice. It has the randomization of dice. And that... You can plan out everything you want to do, but then you have the perfectly wrong roll, and you're like, now what?
Now what? Now I want to be able to move to color shift, but I spent everything. I don't have... Yeah.
Yeah. So
it happens.
It definitely happens.
That's my number 1.
Really good choice.
It's not a recent game, but it is my number 1. It was like Galaxy Trucker. It's not a new game.
This one is.
Well.
All right, my number 1 is Nobody's Surprised. Be like the crew.
All right, now you can put it over me.
Mission Deep Sea. Well, the year I learned the crew the first time, I was like, I like this. But I had only played a 5-player, and it was only a few hands. And if I had gotten into it a lot more, it probably would have been much higher, my game of the year, whenever that was, 2019, I think it was. So this one It's different. We went over it. We talked about it earlier. We showed you the cards. It offers a lot of different ways to play this.
And it plays well at 3 and plays well at 5. I mean,
Yeah.
it's and 4 obviously, but
4, yeah.
we usually play it at 4.
Yeah.
But
and I'm very excited to play it more and see what happens.
And usually you'll end up playing 10 games or so of this and just, knocking them out one at a time, and just quit when you start, play through and just play till 8. We're all done.
It's a really good.
I've never played one game of The Crew.
No, you gotta play more.
I mean, usually I'm playing anywhere between 5 and 15, 20 games of The Crew at a time.
I did not mean to say Advanced Civ. This was no mistake.
Advanced Civilization. No.
No, The Crew.
I know you don't like
card games. I love card games.
Yeah, it's like I say, it made my number 5. So yeah.
It's wonderful. I love it. So I can't wait to play it more.
That's right.
We'll have to play it with James and Susan, but we haven't technically finished.
We haven't finished the Crew.
The other one with them.
Planet
so
9.
I kind of want to do that too, but I also kind of want to start this with them too.
It's different.
So it's maybe we could do both.
Well, I have not done the higher levels of The Crew, so I really want to do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It is quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do both.
So yeah, that was our top 10. We hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a long list.
It was a 2-hour.
2-hour stream, so we don't have time to play a lot of games. Not tonight.
Well,
maybe we can still play something though. So yeah.
All right. Well, that was our top 10. So many games learned. 92 games learned.
92 games.
In August for me alone. Probably something like 80 for you.
Probably.
I mean,
because like Delphi was not new to you and was new to me. Advanced Civ and Merchant of Venus was not new to me, was new to you. So yeah.
Outpost.
Yeah, I wanted to like Outpost. I think there's some broken bits in it.
In any case, I'm glad we played Outpost.
I am also glad I played. I just think that there's broken bits in it.
Yeah.
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 So, Mr. Sock approved.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Be right back. La la la.